Alright, let's start off with the Namco plug-and-play game. This one has a variety of games including Pac-Man, Galaxian, and some racing game I've never heard of in my entire life. Basically, your goal for this game is to go around collecting weird flags. Some have numbers over them, which I guess results in your score. The game glitches a lot too, as you can see by the weird left screen lines. Another problem that this game really does have is the lag, but I don't think my game cap decided to pick it up today. Maybe tomorrow. Next we got Dig Dug, one of my favorite video games of all time. It's wicked fun. Basically go around and blow the crap out of monsters. Not that way. Perv. Alright, next we have a weird space shooting game. For some reason, my game cap crapped out in the middle of filming this, so the audio was never really captured. Next up we got Revenge of the Sith. Let me make something perfectly clear. This game is broken beyond belief. I'm not saying it's a bad game, it's literally the AV cables are broken. They're not unusable, the game is perfectly playable. It's just that every once in a while it'll glitch out, and I'm saying that the AV cables just don't work, basically. You have to fiddle with them a lot, and a lot of times you really have to push them in. The game itself, though, while it's not going to look the greatest, it's just because the AV cables, I can assure you. The game itself doesn't look like this. So if you see any odd flashes or game glitching, it's just the AV cables. The game itself does have a couple different flaws, though, which I'll get into right now. First problem is the variety of games. Now, I'm not saying that this game doesn't have variety, because it does. It has quite a few different games on the system. I mean, it's just the problem is they're typical for the same plug-and-play games. Basically, any plug-and-play game can have these games on it. It's just like they change the sprites. You got your typical breakout style game as shown here. You got your space shooter, you got your beat 'em up or fighter. You got your strategy, and you got your speed game. Yeah, you see, I mean, any console or any plug-and-play, whatever, they could have these exact games and just change the sprites. They should include a little bit more, I don't know what the proper word, spice? I don't know. That's not to say the game's bad, though, because this is one of my favorite plug-and-play games ever. There's a lot of different, well, I just said there isn't a lot of variety. The games that you are given, they're pretty good. Especially the space shooter, and you're going to see that as a trend with the rest of the plug-and-play games. The space shooters are always the best ones. I guess basically just port asteroids over to a plug-and-play game. As you can see here, this one's loosely based off of episode 3, and you can definitely tell. You're driving around in probably Obi-Wan's starfighter, I'm guessing. You're shooting random spaceships, and you're crapping out bombs. That's what it looks like. But if you want to see a really messed up game, check this out. Once again, the game isn't bad, it's just the AV cables. But I'm saying pretty much that if you move the console half of an inch, it'll start flipping out. As you can just see by the light show that's going on here, that's not post-production, guys. That's literally the console doing that. I think the AV cables are not as good quality as you would imagine. I'm not saying they're bad quality either, it's just, you know, the game, it should have been built better. Sounds almost correct. A lot like any other plug-and-play games. What are the most memorable ones? The ones that would push any normal console to its limits. This is a chasing, racing kind of game. Basically, well, just look at it. It actually doesn't look half bad for a plug-and-play game. It's not like it could pass on PlayStation 2 or anything, because that's what was in at the time. But it looks like a standard, maybe Game Boy Advance game, and for a $20 console, that's not that bad. The game itself, well, I suck at it, so I can't show you too much more of gameplay, but it's not that bad. Check it out. Overall, if you can find this game, it only had a short shelf life, but if you can find it on eBay or something for cheap, check it out, because that's actually a pretty good game. And, well, I don't know how expensive it would be nowadays, but back then, for 20 bucks, it was decent quality entertainment, to say the least. It got plenty of years of use out of me, so, you know, can't complain, really. Keeping on the theme of Star Wars, we have yet another Star Wars-based game. And no, I did not mute this footage. Literally, this game has very, very, very low sound. I actually have to crank up my TV all the way, probably to maximum volume, only to hear it at a really, I guess, decent pace. This footage isn't going to look as bad as the last one, just strictly because, well, this game isn't messed up. Actually, it's not a bad game at all. As you can see right here, the graphics are a lot better than the last one, and it resembles the movies a lot more. Plus, it has a longer shelf life, because I'm pretty sure Walmart still sells it. I got it back in like 2007, though. Alright, so now time for the game rundown. You got a fighting game, you got a space shooter, looks nice, you got a very redundant Hoth game, and you got a speeder bike game, which is very fun. Alright, now there's one specific game on this thing that I really, really don't like. That's the Hoth one. Every other game's actually pretty good. It's just this one Hoth game, man. Oh, just don't play it. I mean, it's not really boring because you have stuff coming at you all the time, but it's just redundant, repetitive. It just isn't really fun. Alright, so I'm speeding up the footage just to show you guys how long I played this thing. As far as I know, this is the only screen you see in the entire game, so if you play it long enough, you can technically burn a hole through your television. This game just really isn't too much fun. I mean, same thing over and over, repetitive, boring. You just do the same crap over and over again. There's power-ups and stuff, and you fight some pretty cool enemies, but you just want the game to end. But it's such an easy game that it won't end. You just keep seeing that stage clear all the time, either that or just go to the main menu like I did. And so you're probably wondering, what game has multiple screens? Most plug-and-plays don't. Well, to that, I give you the magical world of the speeder bike race. This game has actually different screens. It has different levels of gameplay, different levels, and everything's just different. Which is surprising, because most plug-and-plays don't have different screens. They're the same crap over and over and over again. But this one changes it up a bit, because every level is different. You got the speeder bike race right here, and then after that you go to this Ewok stage, and after that you go to the Death Star stage, which I've never beaten. Any horizontal 2D shooter like this I'm not too good at. I mean, it's not like it's hard, it's pretty much the speeder bike stage, but with not depth, instead just height. I'm just bad at any stage like this. I'm just gonna be prone to it. I just always crash into walls or get shot to death by TIE fighters or something. Anything that'll distract me from the task at hand. And, well, I haven't gotten too far in this one. Sorry. Alright, next up we got the Nickelodeon edition. Yay, Nickelodeon, yay. This game's just actually not that bad from what I remember. There's different shows and you get some pretty cool music. Glitch much? Yeah. For some reason, I can't get this one to play anymore. I don't know why. I'll figure it out later. I'm too lazy now. Speaking of weird console glitches, the Atari Flashback had a pretty weird glitch on its own. It's technically not a plug-and-play since it uses outlet power, though. But it still ends up in the composite cables. There's only 2 of them, though, which is weird, considering that most of them have a left and right audio as well as video. Anyway, so here's the glitch. I was trying to play Asteroids, and my rocket ship or thing kept disappearing. I kept trying to reset the console, and eventually it ended up just making a couple really weird decisions, like deleting the asteroids and just having me roam around in the free field where I just crash into invisible asteroids. This is a pretty weird glitch. Something I really wasn't expecting, considering I was just trying to record some gameplay. But, you know, it's a glitch on its own. Now, every other game in this thing works fine, and there's quite a few of them, so I don't know why it was just Asteroids that wasn't working. If I can remember correctly, Pong had a few issues when I was trying to record it too, but basically, you know, as I said before, the console's not a plug-and-play, which is kind of odd considering that plug-and-plays are normally meant for ease of access, but they decided to make this one just outlet power. But it's not much bigger than other plug-and-plays. There's actually plug-and-plays that are smaller than this thing, so I don't understand why they just didn't make the console a plug-and-play. I guess it's not too important. There eventually was an Atari 2600 plug-and-play game, but it only included like Pong and Combat and I believe Adventure, if not a couple more games, but that's it. There's also an accessory called the Game Key. A crap load of consoles had it, and they all basically, I think, did the same thing. Either put save states in the game, or modded them, or had extra games. I don't exactly remember any of them from when I was little. I didn't own a Game Key either. This is just a stock footage off Wikipedia. Now there is one more game that I wanted to get to that I didn't today. Why? You'll find out soon enough. In any case, this is Dan or DanRock Productions and Relay Gaming. Thanks for watching.